Whoa, 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 whoa! You're opening up these grapes, munching on a few to decide if they're ripe, and then if they're not, you're putting them back.
I mean, you're talking to the wrong
You
guy because
are,
I don't go to the supermarket and I much never
yeah.
go to the produce aisle.
Well, yeah, I can tell you don't go to the supermarket because you'd be in prison by now.
No.
Wakey, wakey, eggs and bakey. Welcome back to PM in the AM, the comedy podcast that you've been waiting for. I am Blake Bushman, joined by my co-host Porter McNeely, and every week we try to bring you a certain amount of time full of humor. You usually say half an hour, but it's we haven't been super great to sticking to that. So however long this podcast is, it will be that amount of time of humor, and we're bringing it to you.
Awesome. Yeah. It has been more like 45 minutes. And I've really noticed on the editing side of things because it definitely,
Yeah.
when it's 30 minutes, I crank that editing out and have the audio ready to go. Then it's 45. It takes a
Yeah,
long time.
you're gonna have to up my pay because I signed up for half-hour episodes. I'm doing 45 minutes. The time commitment is way greater than what I signed up for, so I'm gonna
Yeah.
have
I
to get a
mean,
raise.
yeah, hopefully we will start making some money soon. Speaking of, headed in the right direction, we did have a couple of reels take off on Instagram this week. Felt kind of good. We were discussing it before the show, and a couple of reels over 50,000 views. So if you're a new listener, new follower, shout out to you. This podcast, you come here for funny brackets, funny debates, amazing questions like you saw in those reels where we were debating would you rather scenarios. And we've got some hypothetical situations coming up a little later on the show. We're going to get into an insane news story happening in China. So you're going to want to stay tuned for that. But yeah, definitely really excited for the show today. Blake, how are you feeling?
I'm fantastic, man, and I do feel bad because every week we always start with a question, and I forgot to ask you how you're doing. So I
And
gotta hit the rewind button. I know you kind of already did your little intro for yourself, but the people are dying to know how is Mr. PM in the AM himself.
well, I would like to say usually, I'm great or excellent. But Blake, today I had an experience that is completely synonymous with having a bad day. And it includes rain and it includes feeling terrible. Have you ever, seen a movie or something where some schmuck is standing on the side of the road and there's just a giant puddle in the road? He's standing on the sidewalk and somebody just drives by and absolutely drenches that poor guy.
Oh, I mean, it's the most like stereotypical. They're already having a bad day moment in a movie. Like it's you have to already be down, and then it happens too. For
Oh yeah. So imagine me, I was delivering packages today, FedEx truck, so
that's
both
rough.
doors wide open. I'm parked by a puddle, didn't even think about it, and I'm delivering like five, I think it was like giant toolboxes to this house. So I'm going in and out of the truck. I'm heavy breathing because I'm trying
Yeah.
to move quickly. It's still a pretty warm day, even though it had been like a monsoon. So we got lots of rain on the ground, and this Honda Civic, like 1990 Honda Civic, comes just flying down the road, and I got hit with an absolute typhoon wave of water on the inside of the truck. It smelled horrible. It smelled like piss, and I thought, wow, this is kind of crazy. Like I should be having like an absolutely terrible day because this happened to me, but it was just kind of funny.
I was
So
gonna say you were probably having a bad day with how many heavy things you were having to unload and in the rain and trying to hurry, and then that happens. It's almost like too perfect to even be
yeah.
mad about. Like it's just like, okay, well, of course this happened right now.
No, exactly. Like I don't know. I was just kind of laughing because I got like I had like they gave me like a brand new iPad for the routing stuff, and it just took on an absolute tsunami wave right to the screen and stuff, and like all the electronics of the truck. So to me, that was just kind of funny, as I'm sitting there drenched and I'm like, what is that smell? And then I realized it was from that. But yeah, shout out to that. I'm assuming it was probably like a high school kid who saw the puddle, who saw me unsuspecting, sitting in the driver's seat. all nice and proper, and I got absolutely drenched head to toe. So
He saw that open door and was like, now's my chance. Never will fate line up so perfectly that,
no,
that the
yeah.
FedEx truck is perfectly over a puddle.
Well, that's what I said. It started off like a movie because I've only ever seen that happen in movies before, and so to actually experience that, I felt like I was living in a movie, and yeah, luckily I didn't let it ruin my day. So that's why I'm going to go clear back to when you asked me how I was doing, Blake, and I'm going to answer that with pretty good. Now that I've come home, I've dried off, and I'm ready to go for this excellent pod. So let's get right into it, Blake. We have the ridiculous roundup back, the segment where we scour the news stories, what's trending, what's going on. And this week we are going to China, and we are discussing, Blake, did you see this story? So there's a zoo in China that is being accused of having humans dress up in a bear costume for the patrons to go around and then look at these quote unquote sun bears. Did you see these pictures?
Okay, I have seen them. And if you haven't, you need to go look at, because this is 100% a dude in a costume. I mean, it's a quality costume, but there's no way that's not a costume.
It's a quality costume. What do you mean? It looks like a mascot. Let's pretend Smokey the Bear, the fire safety bear, was going to your local high school sporting event. That's skinnier. Just imagine skinnier with a lighter brown circle on the stomach, which, is another thing that I think is a little bit too convenient to be true. Is like, why is the circle perfect on the stomach? Is that really how bears are?
Yeah, I did look up a picture of these. It's a sun bear, I think is what they say. It's supposed to be some endangered species. So I looked up a picture of what they're supposed to look like. And, overall pretty close. But the pictures, it just like looks like some guy just standing there. And really, it's like the head looks okay because it's not like oversized. I mean, it looks like a bear head for the most part. But then it's just like it looks like they got a dude that's way too small because it's just so baggy on him.
There's at least 3 rolls on the back.
Yeah,
And
you can see where the pants are like buckled into the like it's awful.
it's got a nice belt on there. It's like a suspenders with a belt holding the legs up. No, but here's the thing that I thought, was a little bit suspicious, and that is because the bear's name is Angela. I was like, why would you give a sun bear a human name? Like, are we sure
Yeah,
that's not just an employee?
yeah, that's not a great name for a sun bear. I feel like they need to send somebody there at night to really just scope it out and see. Like, is it just some guy that he has the top half of the costume off and he's just like eating a pizza? Like, I guess I don't know. In China, maybe it's rice and whatever. I don't know what like the equivalent of pizza is in China. Is it just pizza?
Yeah, I'm sure they eat pizza there.
Well, they
Come
don't
on,
give it to
Blake.
bears, all right? So I don't know.
Well, if you go there after hours, what you're going to see is an empty cage because Angela went home for the night. She took off the costume. It's sitting on the tree in the enclosure, and she took off. So,
What's hilarious to me is that the like, and I'm just going strictly off of headlines here, but I saw something that the Chinese government came out and said that it's not a human dressed up in a costume. Like they had to go out of their way to defend that their
jeez,
sun bear enclosure had legitimate sun bears, which
they were.
anybody who's seen it knows that it's not.
I mean, that would be quite upsetting, as if you're, proud of your country, and then all of a sudden you're getting knocked that you have humans in a zoo thing. Yeah, that's not a good look. And Blake, that's actually not the first time that Chinese zoos have come under fire for something like this. I guess there was another time. There's been another 2 documented times where they've actually had dogs in lion enclosures, and then the tourists have been, gathering around to look at these lions in air quotes, and they have barked, and that's when it's all been, given away. And they were golden retrievers in lion cages. So
And
I
they
think
just
that's why
buzz it to make it look like they buzz it to look like a lion. Is that actually what they do?
I
Because
don't know
that's
if they buzzed it, but that it's actually real. In the article that I read about this story, there's been 2 separate encounters, like African lion encounters that have actually just been dogs.
I mean they have to, but they have to give it the mane, right? Or what's it called? Is it a lion? Yeah,
Yeah, it's a
lion's
mane.
mane.
Yeah.
All right. They have to buzz it to give it that look. Otherwise, if you're gonna do it, go all in. I don't think you're gonna fool anybody with just a full-on golden retriever.
And
But golden retriever with a fresh cut.
You know what's crazy to me is the fact that so there's a amusement park that's local to us, and this amusement park comes under fire every year because they have this little train ride. Train ride takes you through a zoo. Well, I say zoo, but I
It's
really
not a
should
zoo.
say
Yeah,
six
that's
cement
generous.
pads surrounded by chain link fences, and they've got like a tiger, they've got a lion, and all they have is 4 feet of space to each side and chain link fence. That is all they've got. And you drive around and you see these animals just lay sprawled out, and it's really sad. Every time that I've been on that ride, even as a little kid, I was like, something's not right here. Like, can we just put up fake animals and make this more like the ride at Disneyland where you're on the boat ride? So
Yeah,
I'm wondering, how does China not be able to get real lions, but somehow this place has real lions laying on a cement pad?
that's true. Yeah, because calling it a zoo is probably the most generous thing that you could do. Like, I can't even think of an equivalent because it is nowhere near a zoo. It is an animal prison. Like that's
Oh,
like if you're against zoos, if you're for animal rights or whatever, this place is like what you have nightmares about because it
oh
is.
yeah.
I've never seen a more devastated looking animal than on that train ride. But yeah, here's the thing: it's not like a big feature of this amusement park. Like it's a pretty small. Like if they tore it out and let the animals free and put them into a legitimate zoo, I don't think anybody would miss it because I think there's been one time in my life, and I live 15 minutes from this place, that I've actually gone and seen those animals because I saw it once and I was like, oh, this is devastating. I'm not coming back here. Like,
Yeah, it's definitely, kind of crazy when you think about it that they can have those. And what they really need, Blake, is to hire these people that are wearing the costumes. They need to find this costume designer. They need to get some costumes, have humans lay out there in the cages, during operating hours and, make a good
yeah,
wage, make an
yeah,
honest living.
yeah. Create jobs. It's good for the economy that way.
But
How
Blake,
much
that
would
had
they
me
have to pay
thinking,
you to be
ooh,
put into a cage?
I was debating this earlier in my head and I was thinking, you'd have to be kind of crazy to want to do this job. And so I came up with a good program that I thought,
Hmm.
maybe for criminals that are becoming released back into the wild, say they've been in prison for a few years and we're helping them slowly transition back into normal life. We could, have them caged half the day in animal costumes while they're making some money, while they're becoming better. And then the rest of the time is theirs and they can, go out and live their life again. What do you think about this idea?
So, okay, so let me get this straight. Your idea is to take people who have been released from prison and say, "Hey, I have an idea. Why don't you put on this stupid costume and go back into a cage?" Like,
Well,
you want to know what people just out of prison don't want to do is be locked up all day. I think that they would do anything but that job.
you know what they want to do? They want to make some honest money. They want to put some smiles on some kids' faces when they go around the corner and see a lion. That's what they
Yeah.
want to do.
Here's this wouldn't work in the U.S. though because in China maybe they get some guy who just really needs the money and that because they got a huge population over there. I feel like in the U.S. here, there's people that really would need the money, but I just feel like no matter who you get, there's going to be talking to the people. Like you're going to have a talking bear in the middle of the zoo. Like you're going to get a kid walking by, and be like, "Hey kid, toss me that fruit snack." Like he's just,
That would be a wild experience. And that brings me to another question, Blake. Which animal are you choosing? Let's say you have to get caged up at a zoo playing an animal. What are you choosing and why?
okay, so this depends on a really important question. Is my goal to get caught or to
No,
not get caught? I mean,
to not get caught, yeah.
okay. So let's say I only get paid if I don't get caught because
Hmm.
that changes things. Because otherwise, I would be going strictly for comfort, and I feel like the seals would, you just kind of swim around all day. But if I can't get caught, I can't hang out with the seals because they're doing acrobatics that, I wouldn't look good in that wetsuit, so I can't pull that off. So what I am going to have to go to though is the hippo. I feel
Oh,
like the
okay.
costume would be the most comfortable and spacious. I could put little snacks in the belly or something. I just reach back there and I'd be snacking all day. And hippos don't do anything. They just kind of like stand there and like. So I feel like I could do that job pretty easily.
So you're just gonna wobble some and then lay down for the rest of the day? That's your plan as a hippo?
Yeah, yeah. As long as there's AC in the costume. If there's not AC in there, I'm a dead man. So
Yeah, that's a good selection. I think they probably have one of the biggest cages at the zoo, and they usually have like a nice water thing, so you can even go swim up for the fans. Good choice, Blake. Well, as I was thinking about this, I think there's only one pick, and I don't know the size of this animal, so I may be the biggest version of this animal to ever exist. So apart from winning a Guinness World Record, I'm also hacking this question because I am going to be a sloth, and I am going to
uh,
lay on a tree branch all day, do nothing, and then when I have to move, I'll probably have to remind myself to just do those slower movements, act slothly. But yeah, I think that's the way to go. I think you got to choose sloth there.
that's a good call. That's actually, now that I think about it, I think just whatever you can do where you don't have to do anything is good. Because this guy in the sun bear costume got caught because he was out standing up on two legs, like
He
walking
was
around.
waving like a human being.
Yeah, like so you got to be smart about it and choose something that doesn't move. And really, now that I'm talking about it, I think the actual best answer is the tiger, only based off of the fact that anytime I go to the zoo, I have no idea where the tigers are. So I will be in a tiger costume, just laid down in the back somewhere. Won't even have the costume on. It'll be next to me, but nobody will know because you never know where the tigers are at.
True, that's a good point. Those things, they say they got it, but they don't. All right, well, some good discussion there. We are going to be back with a spin on a segment that we've done before. We're going to be answering hypothetical questions that we found on the internet. It's going to be really fun, so don't go anywhere. We will be right back with that. And we are back. We've got a brand new spin on a segment. We're going to call this Hypothetically Speaking. So what we've done is we have scoured the internet, found the best hypothetical questions we could possibly find. We're going to be pitching them to each other for the first time and getting live answers on the show. Blake, what was your process like finding questions? Where did you turn to? Was it difficult? Did any of these actually come from the old noggin, or where did you get these from?
Yeah, if I'm being totally honest with you, I was under the impression you had the questions.
Oh, I've got like five, so I think we'll be good with
Uh,
that.
yeah, so where did I go? I went to you. That was my source.
He went to Jared's. That's fine because I got plenty of hypothetical questions, Blake, and here we go. I think I'm gonna. Should I go with my favorite one first, no? I'm gonna warm up into it. So
Yeah,
you're not
yeah, I
getting
knew
my
that.
favorite one to start off. All right, Blake. Hypothetically speaking, you get 2 million in cash, straight up. But every time you exit your house, you have to eat a Pop-Tart. Are you taking this deal?
Mm. Okay, so I get just 2 million cash. I mean,
If you agree.
just 2 million. Okay, you know what? I think I'm gonna take the Pop Tarts.
So this
All right,
includes
I'll take the 2 million and the Pop Tarts. I would not choose Pop Tarts over $2 million.
this includes, Blake, you forget something inside, you got to go back and forth.
Yeah.
5 trips. You're grilling on the patio, back and forth. You're eating
Do I have to
five Pop Tarts.
do I have to stand on the patio while I eat this, or can I like eat it on my way to wherever I'm
No,
going?
you've got to eat it before you fully exit the house.
Oh, interesting.
The Pop Tart has to be finished.
Okay. I mean, it's $2 million, and I love Pop Tarts. If this were like pickles, like oh, it's
Ooh.
$2 million, but you have to eat a pickle every time you leave, I would shoot myself in the foot because like I couldn't do it, but I would also hate myself for not taking the $2 million. But Pop Tarts, I might be a little obese, but I'm also gonna have $2 million. So
Yeah, I don't think I could do it. I think depending on the flavor, and think about how fast is that $2 million going to go. These Pop Tarts aren't free, Blake. You still got to go out and purchase them to make
what?
sure. Yeah, you're signing an agreement saying that you're buying Pop Tarts, so every time you leave your house, you're going to have to eat one before you go out.
So this whole two
Pop
million
Tarts don't grow
dollars,
on trees.
this whole 2 million, I thought it was like a magical thing. Like I had a Pop Tart drawer that I'd open up. There'd be my keys and my Pop Tart. Like I thought this was provided to me. I didn't realize that I was gonna have to be spending $2 million on Pop Tarts
I don't know
because
how long it would take you to spend 2 million on Pop Tarts. I don't
yeah.
think you could probably ever get to that.
Oh, I think you. I mean, like you said, if I leave my house, okay, I'm gonna walk you through a day. All right, so I wake up, blah blah blah. I'm going to work. Boom, Pop Tart. All right. I come home from work. I go to the gym. Boom, Pop Tart. I come home. If I let's say I go on a nice, I have to go get something for dinner that I forgot. We don't have any eggs. Oh, boom, that's another Pop Tart. Let's say I have to. I'm gonna go on a walk after dinner. Boom, that's another pop. I'm up to 4 Pop Tarts already. And is it a
That sounds
package
like a
or a single
horrible
Pop
day.
Tart every time?
I'm gonna go single Pop Tart, but you know what's gonna
Okay.
happen to the other one while you're waiting? That thing's gonna be stale as can be. Not only is it gonna be disgusting, it's gonna be stale.
You're gonna have to make sure you go out in even numbers
In
because you don't
twos,
want that
yeah.
thing sitting there all night. You gotta make sure that I gotta go stand out on the porch for a minute because I gotta eat this Pop Tart before it's bad.
I guarantee you're gonna get to the point where you forget your phone and you say, you know what? Don't care. I'm not going back in because I will not come back out and eat another Pop Tart.
Yeah, I mean it's just one Pop Tart. Like I can eat a Pop Tart in approximately 2.5 seconds. Like I think if you timed me, I could throw one of those bad boys down real quick. And there's no protein, no fiber, so you're not feeling full off of this thing. It's not, after 15 minutes, it's like, oh, did I even eat a Pop Tart today? I don't know. I'm mainly concerned about the money. If I'm having to eat 2 Pop Tart packets a day, I'm saying if there's 4 in there, that'll last me 2 days. How much do one of those cost? $5? If I'm spending $5 every 2 days, I mean, that's just eating into my $2 million. Sure, I'd have to live a long time to get to 2 million, but I'm a little bitter that Big Pop Tart didn't provide this to me when I signed this deal.
Yeah, it's like the documentary, the guy that at McDonald's, the Super Size Me thing. It's like, they're like, what
Pop
we're gonna
Tart
see
me.
what happens. Yeah, we're gonna see what happens first. Blake eats $2 million worth of Pop Tarts, or Blake dies
Yeah,
from over Pop Tarting.
yeah. I guess I shouldn't be too worried about spending $2 million on Pop Tarts when I will likely die of heart failure before then. So really, I
Like,
mean,
sir,
I guess
your
I'm taking the
arteries
Pop
are full
Tarts.
of blueberry Pop Tart filling.
Why they have to cut me open for surgery? Why is he oozing strawberry filling?
The doctor's
Also,
like, I would have much rather gone with toaster strudel.
yeah, another question. Can I change the flavor or is it one flavor for all time and eternity?
No, I would say you can change the flavor.
Oh, good. I mean,
That's the only
because
saving grace.
I would choose the brown sugar one,
Mm.
but if I can change, I'm gonna get a nice rotation in there. Get the variety pack with some wild berry going. I'll be all right.
Which Pop Tarts a while ago? Oh, we got like buttered waffle Pop Tarts. Horrible. An absolute disgrace. It
Yeah,
was
that doesn't
disgusting. So hopefully you got to throw those in your rotation at some point. You got to try them out.
that doesn't sound no. If you just said they're awful, I don't think the hey you should try them out should be the next thing out of your
I'm pretty
mouth.
sure the people at Oreo and the people at Pop Tart have a deal behind the scenes where they're like, okay, we have one guy that's deciding crazy flavors for us. He shoots out the ideas to both of them because both of those products sometimes come out with things that, are more disgusting than sin.
Yeah.
They are just horrific
Do you think they
flavors.
have to bid over the idea? This guy comes out with like, oh, this one's gonna be mint carrot cake, and he's like, who wants it? And Pop Tart and Oreos, and everybody
He's
they're
like,
bidding on it to get the rights to this guy's idea for these
he's like my
flavors.
pumpkin spice watermelon flavor. Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm sure he's like a chemist too, man. No, that's funny that you bring that up. All right, let's move along to the next question, Blake. This one might be a little bit more thought provoking, and so I'm excited to read this one to you. It says, "You can time travel to the night before Abraham Lincoln was assassinated and warn him and try to prevent him from being assassinated, but you can only say 2 words before the time machine returns you to current time. What do you say?"
Okay, I gotta put some thought into this because if I say the first thing that comes to my mind, odds are Honest Abe's still getting a bullet in the head. But part of me also wonders is you know the butterfly effect. Sure, I'm saving a good guy, but what's going to happen later down the line? Am I going to come back and it's going to be like some sort of devastation has happened and there's a world dictator because I saved Abraham Lincoln? I don't know if I want that blood on my hands.
So in that case, what are you saying?
Goodbye. I,
Are you not warning him with goodbye? You're not worried about that
well,
saving
no,
him?
because I will also disappear immediately after. Right? I mean, I'm saying these two words. I'm out of there, and he's just going to be like, "Oh, well, that was a weird guy, but he said goodbye and he's gone. Guess I'm going
If
to
you say
the
goodbye and
theater."
disappear into time space, he's gonna be concerned about aliens and he's not going to the movies the next night.
Oh, he for sure is because he's got to distract himself. He's going to be like, I got to really clear my mind with with a nice theatrical performance. Clear my mind was probably not the best.
Like, oh no. That's
Yeah,
that's
I mean his
terrible.
mind was cleared.
Like,
Yeah, I mean, if let's say if I do try to save him, though, I don't even know what I could say. Just I got nothing. I'm letting the guy get shot. I don't want.
yeah.
The world has been okay since then. You know, I think he did what he came here to do, and you know,
As I was thinking about this, the thing I was potentially thinking, and I was erring on the side of Honest Abe, such a good man, he was going to continue to do good and whatnot. And, who knows where we'd be living now because of his contributions. I was going to say no theater. I think that's a clearest way to say don't go. I guess you could say
don't
stay
go.
home, but he's like, stay home from what? I got a lot of things. I'm the
Yeah.
president, so no theater, something like that. You give him a nice heads up.
Yeah, but maybe he'll. Here's the problem. I'm trying to think of what's going to make him not focus on the fact that you just disappeared into space time after you said this. Because, like you said, I'm saying these words and then I'm gone, and I think his mind will only be focused on that. So I think you just got to be like, uh,
No
"You're
alien.
dead," and then
Oh,
you then disappear because then he's going to stay home. Like you'll
yeah.
die, and then he'll be like, "Oh man, I got to stay home from everything because the magic mystery man that disappeared into the ether said I was going to die," and that might make him stay home.
That's a fair assumption. I think we've put in some good analysis to this question, Blake. Let's move on. All right. So, hypothetically speaking, you're 1 minute away from starving to death and you enter the supermarket. What is the first thing you're going to eat and why?
I would assume anything that's within a 1 minute walk. I mean, I feel like starving to death. I got to get some nutrients in me, and it's got to be something quick and easy. You know, you can't go to the anything that needs to be cooked because I ain't got that kind of time. So I'm thinking about the grocery store near my house where I go. I walk in, there's kind of an aisle. Straight at the end of that, all the produce and fruit. I am going to town on those grapes.
The grapes, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe a banana. I mean, just rip that thing open and eat it. And then I got to go down. If I work my way down, through all the fruits, as I'm starving, obviously I'm going to be eating a lot. Then I get into the bulk section where you can just they have like the little dispensers and they have all sorts of nuts and everything there. I'm just opening my mouth and walking down there and opening up all those and just filling up.
I mean, that's a pretty good strategy. Well, you mentioned grapes first, Blake, and I've had a thought come across my mind a couple of times in my life, and that is why at the grocery store is it allowed for you? There's like a bunch of grapes, you open it up. Why can you eat one grape, but you can't do that with any other product in the grocery store?
Well, who told you you could eat one grape?
I've seen that happen a lot. I know a lot of people that do that. Is that not legal?
Uh, I mean,
That's got to be fair game.
I don't think it's illegal per se, but it's not in the grocery store bylaws of, hey,
Yeah, it is.
upon picking up a package of grapes, you can open it up and eat one grape. I
No, you
don't
can eat
think.
like two or three to decide that they're ripe, but it's only with grapes.
Whoa, 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 whoa! You're opening up these grapes, munching on a few to decide if they're ripe, and then if they're not, you're putting them back.
I mean, you're talking to the wrong
You
guy because
are,
I don't go to the supermarket and I much never
yeah.
go to the produce aisle.
Well, yeah, I can tell you don't go to the supermarket because you'd be in prison by now.
No,
If you
shot.
were opening up grapes, munching on them, and then setting them back if you didn't like how they tasted. I
Well,
mean,
it's not like a munch. It's like a plop into your mouth and then chew, I would say. I'm not munching them.
you're munching. They're grapes. They're nice and crispy. This is unbelievable. Yeah, no,
That's
you
the only
can't
way
do
to.
this with anything at the grocery store.
See, I always thought you could do it with grapes, so I'm just finding this out. But I was thinking the other day we bought like a family size thing of Chips Ahoy and they were like already stale. So I was like, why can't we spread this tactic onto that?
So you want to open up the Chips Ahoy, try a few, decide if they're still good.
No, it's not my fault that they sold me a stale package and they charged us $6 for it.
I
I
mean,
think I'm entitled to a crispy Chips Ahoy, just like I'm entitled to a crispy grape.
so is it going to be like I go to the grocery store and I have to sort through all the Chips Ahoy to find the one that is completely full still that I know hasn't been tampered with? Like I'm going to open up all these other ones. There's going to be 3 cookies missing from all the people that have walked by.
I can see how you're poking holes in this one, but for some reason, watch the people in the grapes section. I'm not going to admit to have ever done this, but I am sure that this happens with grapes. I don't know why.
I mean, I feel like sure if they're in my cart and I'm already going to buy them, like yeah, you can.
What if
Especially
it
if you're
tastes terrible? You're still going to be like, by the way, at the checkout, these grapes taste horrible, but I am going to spend my hard earned money on them.
no, because I'm gonna look before I start chowing down. I'm gonna look and be
But
like,
looks
"Oh, hey,
can be deceiving.
these grapes are supposed to be red. They're still green. I'm not gonna get these ones." Like, oh, look, these are mushy. I'm not gonna. I feel like it's a pretty simple process. Grapes are, I mean, you can see them. You don't need to open it up and try them to see if they're good.
What I'm learning from this segment is that you should never eat grapes at the Bushman household if Blake has been going to the grocery store, because that man just goes in there blind and guesses on the grapes or tastes it and realizes it's terrible and still buys them.
On the contrary, apparently I had no idea that I was such a grape expert. Everybody else needs to put something in their mouth to see if it's good, whereas I can look at it and see, oh, that's not good, and I won't get it. That's like having to open up a banana to see if it's ripe yet. I
Which is
can
what I'm
clearly
saying.
tell
We
it's
should be allowed to
green.
do that.
I can clearly tell it's green. Oh, that one's green, that one's brown. I'm not gonna do those. I'm gonna get this nice yellow one. Then I don't need to open it and start eating it to see if it tastes good.
And see, that's a rookie mistake, Blake, because you never buy the bananas when they're yellow, because then by the time you get them home, they're going to be brown. You buy the bananas when they're green,
Oh,
and then you let them ripen.
unless you're eating them in the store like you, then you gotta buy them when they're yellow because by the time you get out of the store, you're just gonna have peels left.
If it was up to me, I'd be making banana bread in the bakery if I could.
This is unbelievable. I can't. I had no. I mean, if you are set on buying it, you can open it. I think you can open anything and try it. You want to open up your Chips Ahoy? Boom, you're good. You have to buy it though.
That was actually the wild part. In high school, I worked at a grocery store, and I never knew that, people would like walk in and just eat a snack, get a drink the drink, and then you'd be at the checkout stand and it'd be like an empty can just rolling down and they'd scan as. I never knew that was possible. I feel like that should be frowned upon, don't you? Isn't that kind of weird?
This is coming from the guy who wants to open the can, drink half of it. Oh, this is flat. I'm gonna put.
I didn't say anything about opening a can. I only want to do damage to a product that has damaged me, Blake.
I don't even
Chips
remember the
Ahoy
original
deserves to be
question.
punished.
I don't remember the original question at this point. I am just baffled by the fact that you think you should be able to try a product and then put it back.
You've never
like
heard of
it's
a test drive?
T-shirt. Yeah, but I could still go buy the full car. You're not taking the steering wheel with you to see if you like how it fits before you decide if you want to buy the car.
Okay, I can see the logic there, but I also am not fully convinced. Either way, the question was if you were starving and had 1 minute, and that's why I'm running up to the candy thing. At the front by the check stands, they got all those candies. I'm taking a Hostess cherry pie, maybe 3, and that's going to give me the energy needed to continue on in life.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm starving. A Hostess cherry pie is going to be the best form of. I think you're going to go back to starving real quick.
No way.
With
You're
my
going to go back to happy.
with my grapes and bulk foods, I'm going to be full for the next 4 to 6 hours. You
No,
15 minutes go by, you'll be like, oh man, I'm gonna have to walk out the door so I can eat another Pop-Tart. Like this.
you're gonna die trying to fill a bag with flour in the bulk aisles. All right, Blake. Let's move on to my next question. This again should bring up some good debate. So hypothetically speaking, you can only wear one style of t-shirt for the rest of your life, and there are only two options. The first says I'm with stupid and has an arrow pointing up to you. And the second one is the tuxedo printed t-shirt. Which will be you be wearing forever?
Mm. I mean, I feel like it's got to be I'm with stupid. I feel like to a point it's creative enough to where like people would see it the first few times at least and be like, haha, nice shirt. And then you just, you get to move on with your life. And the first time people see it, they're going to be funny. But I feel like it's a lot. The only good thing that comes out of the tuxedo t-shirt is that, if I go to a formal event, I won't be showing up with an I'm with stupid t-shirt. I'll be showing up with somewhat formal attire.
You'll be showing up as I didn't put any effort into whatever event I'm at. And I think you're kind of passing by a big danger with the I'm with stupid t-shirt. And that is after about 3 or 4 times that somebody comments on your shirt, you're not going to think it's funny anymore. You're going to have heard all the jokes fairly quick, and it's going to get annoying quick.
Yeah, but they're going to think it's funny. And that's what's really important to me is, I'm well aware that it's not funny and the jokes are going to be like, haha, whatever. But I'm stuck wearing this shirt, so I'm going to have to deal with it. But as long as they think it's funny, it's okay. But the more I think about it, I feel like I have to go with the tuxedo. I feel like it's more versatile. I'm less likely to get kicked out of a wedding with a tuxedo t-shirt than an I'm with stupid t-shirt. Maybe
nobody wants that in their family picture. Yeah, nobody wants the I'm with stupid showing up in family pictures. That is a bad look. But I think if you do go I'm with stupid, you really have to embrace it. You have to start, number one, talking to yourself, and number two, like hitting yourself in the head every time you are talking to yourself. And so people are like, this guy's crazy. He's wearing an I'm with stupid t-shirt. He's talking to himself. We'll give him some room. We'll probably, pull out our phones and film him and put it on social media because he'll be looking crazy. But yeah, but personally, I would hate to wear a tuxedo t-shirt. I don't know what the amount you'd have to pay me to wear one of those things.
It's a bad look.
Oh my gosh. Could there be a worse look than a tuxedo t-shirt?
Well, an I'm with stupid t-shirt might, pointing to yourself.
Man, we got to get a couple of these and go out into public. We do a little rock, paper, scissors battle to see who gets what t-shirt. We have to go to like a public event in those.
Oh, that's a good way to think about it. If I'm with you and I get to choose which one you wear to make you look more stupid, I feel like I would choose the tuxedo one for you.
So I was thinking tuxedo, khaki shorts, and like dad flip-flops. That could not be top.
The cargo shorts, the big old pockets too.
Yep. That's an awful look.
Oh man,
that's incredible.
Yeah, because at least the I'm with stupid can be a joke. Tuxedo shirts could not.
Remember the plaid shorts? It was like a big phase. You'd go to Aeropostale and you'd get your blue checkered plaid shorts. That with a tuxedo t-shirt. Probably impossible to beat in terms of bad fashion, and that's coming from somebody who doesn't give a crap about fashion.
Yeah, no, that's top tier. I think I went to a school with a kid who wore that on a regular basis.
I'm gonna guess he smelled bad.
You can smell it from here. You can smell the tuxedo t-shirt. Do you think it comes with built-in BO?
Oh, it has to. If you wear khaki or the plaid shorts, that just with a tuxedo t-shirt that comes with no washing machine at all. That's hilarious.
Oh man. Yeah, you know what? I started I'm with stupid, went to tuxedo, I'm back to I'm with stupid. Count me in. I'm rolling with it. At least it can be somewhat of a joke instead of me being the joke.
Yeah, that's fair. I really think we should do this at some point. Get a couple of those t-shirts and rock it out in public and as a punishment or something. Maybe that should be our because we are joining a fantasy football league again this year. maybe we could have the audience help us decide if that would be a good fantasy football punishment if you had to dress up like that in
We gotta
either a tuxedo or
we
on
gotta
a
put them
stupid t-shirt.
in a public setting though. They have to wear
Yeah.
the tuxedo T-shirt and then go do open mic stand up comedy like that.
That would probably actually help you. You'd walk up on the stage and everybody would be laughing like we did when we just thought about that outfit having built-in BO. No, you have to go do something serious. Like, what's something serious? You have to go to like a book club.
Speed dating.
No, forget about it. They're gonna turn you away at the door. Now we'll have to refine that a little bit as we go along, but yeah, there's the new hypothetically speaking segment. I think it brought up some good laughs. I definitely had a blast doing it. How did you feel about it, Blake?
I thought it was fantastic. I hopefully the listeners enjoy it so that we can keep coming back to it because the more I get to talk about tuxedo T-shirts, I see that as a win.
True. Now, that was actually a fantastic time we just had. You can send us in hypothetical questions. We have a listener submission form in our bio on Instagram. There's a link there. Just click it. It's the top selection there. You can send us in any questions you want to have answered on the podcast. We love getting listener submissions, and we love getting reviews, Blake. It's always nice to see some 5-star reviews coming in. So shout out to, we have had some on Spotify. They don't come with the big text readout and stuff, but shout out to those listeners who have given us 5-star reviews over on Spotify. Make sure you're subscribed to us on YouTube and Instagram at PM in the AM podcast. We got a lot of good content coming out. Blake, you got anything for the listeners on the way out today?
No, I do not.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning in to another wonderful edition of PM in the AM podcast. We will catch you guys next week.
Peace out.
Congrats on making it all the way to the end. We hope you enjoyed the show. You are now officially part of the PM in the AM fan base, the morning people, and we are super pumped to have you here. Now that you're a part of the crew, please share the episode with a friend, and make sure to check out the rest of our shows and social media content for more hilarious brackets, crazy questions, and an overall great time. Thanks for listening. It truly means a lot to us, and we'll catch you guys next week.